Hey guys, welcome back. I have been waiting to do this video for so long. I just needed these palettes to arrive. So today I'm going to be swatching and using the LunarSkies Cosmetics Moon Palettes. And this is the look that's going to be the tutorial at the end of the video. Before we get into this, my spring giveaway is going on. How fitting for this look today. So just be sure to check that out, get subscribed to my channel, and follow that Gleam link below. So LunarSkies Cosmetics is a new brand to me that I had not tried before. And these four palettes popped up on my Instagram feed, and they had made an I Do palette and a something else palette, and I tried to get, I think I tried to get the other one actually, and it was sold out. So when these popped up and the color stories that I saw were so beautiful, I decided to pick them up. I picked them up in a bundle. They are $15 each, or the bundle for the initial launch was $55. They did come wrapped very nicely. They had bubble wrap around them. They have a sleeve that matches the cover of the palette. The back has all the ingredients in it, and they all had a plastic sleeve on top, which I probably will be keeping on top of it because they do have that glitter shade. I don't know if it helps a ton to keep it moistened, for lack of a better word, but I figure anything protecting it from getting air in that glitter shade, all the better. They do all also have a mirror in it, which I always appreciate in a palette. I know some people don't care, but I always use the mirror in the palette to do my makeup, so I do like having the mirror in the palette. What I really noticed about these palettes that was pretty cool is that if you can see the names here, all of the palettes have a different font depending on kind of the theme of the palette. So this one is the amethyst one, so you can see it's more fancy font. She ended up releasing them a day early because she saw that there was a lot of excitement for them, and she was worried that the site was going to overload on the day that it launched. So I picked them up as soon as I saw that they were launched early, but then the day they launched, she did like a free gift with purchase, so I was kind of bummed about that. But so this is the cobalt one, so you can see the font is a little different on that. And I am going to swatch all of these palettes for you guys today. Before I get into swatches, I do want to talk a little bit about the color story and some things that I noticed when I was swatching. Here is the Emerald Moon. So there's the font there. I just thought that was really cool and a nice little unique touch to these palettes. And the last one is the Flower Moon, which is also the palette that I have on my lids today. I'll just kind of hold these up so you can see what the outside looks like as I'm going through this. I want to really emphasize that this is a first impression. These just came in the mail. I'm just filming this, swatched them for the first time, have only used the shadows on my lids, because you are going to see that when I swatch some of them, the swatches don't come out as pigmented as I would like them to. But I want you to remember I have not used them on the lids yet, and sometimes shades do swatch less desirable than they perform on the lids. So on my lids today, I have used everything but these three shades, and I enjoyed all of the shades. I thought they all performed really nice. I thought that they initially went on with a good amount of pigment to them, but when using them, this one, Carnations, this neon one, I did have to build up a little bit, but it looks really good on that inner crease area. And when I was swatching them, I did have to build them up quite a bit. I did not have to build them up as much on my lids as I did when I was swatching them. So keep that in mind when you see the swatches for these. I haven't used them on the lids yet, so I don't know how easily they go onto the lids or blend together. But I will be doing another video using these three. I'll either do 2 or 3 looks using these palettes, so we'll get a good idea of all of these palettes used together. I think I mentioned later on, I don't have anything coming in the next week or so, so I can be using these for the next week. I will post pictures in my Instagram stories of my makeup of the day if you want to see more looks with those. Now for color story. So this one is my favorite color story of all of them, not only because the colors are so unique, guys. I do not have things like this in my collection, but also because I think it's a really good variety of shimmers and mattes, and also light to dark shades. Now there's not a really deep dark shade in here, but I would always prefer to have a unique matte color to a black or a brown or a darker shade of the same tone, because I can create my own darker shade of the same tone by adding black or brown to these shades. So that's kind of what I look for in an eyeshadow palette. But like these three especially, oh, and this one, Tulip, a peachy shimmer. I don't have a peach shimmer. This is so beautiful. So this is my favorite color story of all of them. I could definitely do without the glitter shades in my palettes. That being said, I have a feeling from the swatches and the removal of them, these are going to be good glitter shades. Here is the purple color story. I thought this one was created really beautifully as well. The only thing I would have changed in here is I would take out one of these mid-tone purple shades, maybe one of these, and maybe like gem or amethyst, and add in a lighter, something duochrome inner corner highlight kind of shade. I think that would have been really pretty in the purple one. But I think that the shades are all unique enough that they make a really pretty palette. So I was also thinking as I was going through these, because I now own 3 yellow palettes. I love yellows, you guys. And if you think you can't wear yellow, you can. You just have to wear it a couple times and grow some confidence in wearing it. I think yellow is something that anyone can wear. We have seen so many brands do monochromatic palettes so far. I don't know if I can show all 3 of these. I'm kind of thinking she took a good path looking at what people have created and then creating something that's close to monochromatic but with a couple of different shades to where you can create some more unique looks. Because to be honest, a lot of these yellow shades in these 2 palettes, when you put them on the eyes and create a look, you don't really need a couple of those mattes, and even a couple of shimmers are a little close to each other. So I think it was really smart for her to take a spin on that monochromatic kind of palette and add some pops of colors, but pops of colors that go together. So she didn't add like a pop of 3 different colors. She added a pop of orange, but gave a variety to that orange. So I thought that was really smart on her part, and I think it really adds to the color stories. The next one that we've got is the Cobalt Moon palette. Also, I think a very carefully curated and beautiful palette. The only thing I would have done different in this palette, and you can see if you get the bundle, she does give you a black within the bundle of palettes if you end up getting that. So there is a black in this one. But the only thing I think I would have done to this was take out Proteus? I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. This Kmar shimmer is really close to Proteus. They're both this really rich royal blue shade, and I don't think I need 2 of those, especially because there's already a glitter shade in this palette. And I think I would have added a deeper blue shade, something a little bit richer of a blue shade, because you've got these, and you can add the black to darken these up. I think something a little bit richer of a blue shade would have really made this palette for me. But I think it is so beautifully crafted. You've got 3 shimmer shades, you've got 3 matte shades with that matte black to darken those other 3 up, and 2 glitter shades. I mean, they're really pretty glitter shades. I just don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of them, but it's such a beautiful palette. And to add those pops of green in with that blue, I think was a really good idea. And then we've got the Emerald Moon palette. So here's the Emerald Moon palette. And for this one, she added some pops of yellow in with that green. I do wish that there was another green shimmer in this palette. These 3 here, and they end up being pretty similar, different enough to me because I really see those different color tones, and that's something that I love about eyeshadow. But I definitely think we could have taken one of those out and added a grass green shimmer shade. I think that would have been beautiful. Although I don't prefer glitter shades in my palette, this glitter shade right here, this lime green, whew, so pretty. You will see in the swatches. And this Veronese, I think, is going to end up being one of my favorite shades in all of these palettes. So that is a brief first impressions overview of the LunarSkies Cosmetics Moon Palettes. Let's get into swatches. I am so excited to swatch these, and I definitely want to start with Flower Moon. So that is the yellow one, and here is what it looks like. I saw a picture that actually I think they put on their Instagram feed, and it looks like all 3 of these looked similar. They are definitely not. Oh my gosh. To me, this is the most beautiful color story of the 4 of them, and the one I was most excited to try. I'm definitely going to be using some of these today on my eyes. I think I am going to start with swatching the shimmer shades and then do the matte shades. So we have got Yarrow, Rose Mallow, which is a glitter shade, Buttercup, and Tulip. Here is Yarrow. Ooh, they're very buttery shimmer shades. This is like my first time touching the shadows. Rose Mallow, Buttercup, and Tulip. Guys, they're so pretty. Definitely using Tulip on my lid today for sure. I want to say Tulip. I don't own anything like that in my collection. It is like a peach shimmer shade. I do want to try out their glitter formula, but I just don't think I want to do a glitter on the lid today. I'm going to swatch the orange ones first since I've got this orange shimmer here. We've got Delilah. Ooh, I have so much hopes for this one. So pretty. So, oh my gosh, y'all. I do not own anything like that either. The next one we have is Sunflower. These are swatching really nice. So we've got Daffodil. And then for the next ones, I'm going to go back in lightest. This way you can kind of see the color scheme a little bit better. So I'm going to go Daffodil to Marigold. I've just found that swatching them in their color group or shimmers and mattes gives you a little bit better idea of what you're actually getting. Because sometimes the way that they're set up in the palette lends to looking like it's different than what it is. I'm not saying that this one does. I'm saying I've seen that in a lot of different palettes. So this bright one is Carnation. This is like a neon yellow and it is beautiful. Definitely can be built up, and I will maybe be seeing what that one is like on the eye today. And then the last one that we have in here is Marigold. So this is like a neutral yellow shade. I did want to swatch Marigold next to Imperial because they do look a little bit similar, so I am going to do that and just see how close in shade these are. So they are pretty close in shade. Imperial from the green one has got a little bit more yellow to it than Marigold does from the Flower Moon one. So here are the swatches for the Flower Moon palette. The second palette I was most looking forward to is the Emerald Moon palette. So that is the palette that I'm going to swatch next. I may pull a shade or two from here when I do my look. We will see. But I'm going to start with the yellow shade and then go through the green shades by darkness. So these first two are Paris and Imperial. Oh, Paris is kind of a neon yellowish shade as well. And then we've got Imperial. I am going to compare that top one, Paris, to Carnations from the other palette. So that's a little more yellow tone than the one that was from the Flower Moon palette. Okay, so this is a lot more neon. The one from the Flower Moon palette is a lot more neon than the one in the Emerald palette. Looking at this palette, I do kind of feel like these three are very similar. So I'm going to swatch these next to each other. So we're going to go Veronese. I have no idea what that says. Veronese. And then we'll do Peace, Reflection, Growth, and Calm, and end with Balance and the glitter one, Rich. So the first one we have is Veronese. That's a really pretty, like yellow toned lime green. Okay, here are those three greens on my finger. So they are definitely different shades. So let's go ahead and swatch them and see how they come out. The first one is Peace. That one looks like it might be lacking a little bit of pigment there. So this is like a mix of a turquoise and teal green. The next one we have is Growth. So that's got more yellow to it than this one. This one's got a little bit more of a blue tone to it. So it has more of a true green color and it's a little darker. And then the last one is Reflection. These I am having to build up some. So that is more, I would say that's more of a green, like a grass green shade. So those are the three greens. If you're a color lover, they are all definitely different to you. Then we've got the shimmer shade, which is Calm. Their shimmer shades seem really, really beautiful. You know what I wish this had in it instead of one of these is like a true green shimmer. I don't know that I've got true green shimmer shade in my collection now that I think about it. And this only does have the one shimmer shade and the one glitter shade. So even though I'm a matte lover and I always prefer my palettes to have more mattes than shimmers, I do like to have a few shimmers to work with in my palettes. The next shade we have is Balance. And this is more of a deeper teal. This definitely has more of blue to it, but it's a deeper one. So even this one that had a little more blue than these two still has more green than this one does too. And this one would be great for deepening up that outer V. The last one in here is this beautiful lime green glitter shade. I mean, that is gorgeous. These glitter ones do pack on very opaquely. A lot of the times it's hard to get glitter shades where they don't separate when you apply them. But I would say that one applies really nice. In terms of the color story for me, the only thing I think I would have changed with this is just moving one of these to a true green shimmer shade, but I think that this palette together is really beautiful. So here are the swatches for the Emerald Moon palette. The next palette that I'm going to swatch is the Amethyst Moon palette. So this is the purple palette. I wish I had the ColourPop purple palettes to compare this with. I don't have either one of them, and maybe I don't need them now, except I definitely still need the Lilac You A Lot palette. Anyways, so this is the purple palette. I think I would add like one lighter purple shade to this maybe. Maybe a white lavender shift duochrome would be a really good one to put in here. You know, that is really what is missing from these is an inner corner highlight. Well, you could use Yarrow. So you've got Yarrow. You don't have any kind of duochrome shadows though. That's what's missing from these palettes, I think. But I do own duochromes and duochrome highlighters. I'm actually wearing one from Vanessa's Vanity today. So I could use one of those in the inner corners. I am going to start off swatching the mattes by the order from lightness to darkness, and then we'll go into the shimmer and glitter shades. So here we've got lavender, amethyst, and gem. So that is one swatch of those. Let's build that up with another swatch. There's lavender. I said those wrong. This one is amethyst. And this one is gem, so they're definitely buildable. This one almost seems a little bit like a satin-ish. Next I'm going to do quartz, and then violet, and then amethystos. So first we've got quartz. Quartz is more of a burgundy purple shade, which is a nice shade to have with these other purples. Then we've got violet. That's like a true purple shade. And then the last one is amethystos, and that is a deeper purple burgundy shade. So those three built up really nice. For the shimmer shades, we have got crystal. Ooh, that is really pretty purpley pink shimmer shades. And opal. These shimmers seem like they're going to be really good. They swatch really nice. And the glitter shade is jewel. This looks really pretty too. Oof, look at that. I'm liking that color story. These two could definitely be used as a lighter transition shade. I would have loved if like one of these was just a little bit lighter of a shade, or if it was a duochrome lightly violet shifting shade. But I don't know that I want to give up any of the other mattes. I think it's a really pretty color story, and I think it was very carefully curated. So here are all of the shades in the Amethyst Moon palette. I do have to say these glitter shades stay on really well. It took me a lot to get it off, and that's what you want in a glitter shade because you don't want it falling off throughout the day. I couldn't get it off with a makeup wipe. And what was the other one I used? I used Dermablend has a makeup remover that's no good. It would not come off with that. I had to use my heavy duty cleansing balm. I have the Clinique Take the Day Off, which is one of my favorites, to be able to get the glitter one off. So it is a good binding material that they're using in that. Now for this one, I am going to start with, I think I'm going to do these by color. So we'll do Morocco, Bader, the glitter ones, Chan, Atlas, and AKU. And then we'll do Kamar and Triton. So first we've got Morocco. Oh my gosh, that is really pretty. This is one of my favorite shades of blues to use on the eyes. The next one we have is Bader. So here is this one. So this is a bit deeper of a shade. And then we've got our first glitter shade in here, which is a Luna. The other shimmer shade is Proteus. Ooh, that's like a royal blue shimmer. That is pretty. This one and that green one, so pretty. All right, next we've got AKU. And then I'm going to do Atlas and Chan. So here's AKU. And then we've got Atlas and Chan. It's a little more blue than it was in the pan, so I am glad about that. And I'm going to try to build up Atlas just a little bit here. Yeah, so that's definitely a buildable shade as well. And then the last two we have are Kamar It's like a royal blue, but I think if you put it with purples, it would show up purple. So obviously I should have put these two blues up here with these blues, and I didn't. And then we have the black shade, which is Triton. And I definitely appreciate a black shade that needs to be built up, because when I use black, it's to deepen something up. So I don't want to have that full opaqueness of black. So there is the black shade Triton. And here are all the swatches of the Cobalt Moon palette. I'm so excited to use these shades. So for this yellow look, I think I'm actually going to start with Sunflower on the outer V. That's going to kind of give me some direction for where I want to place the other colors. I definitely want to use those neon looking colors because they are so pretty. I am going in with a Sigma E38 brush. This is a diffused crease brush. Oh, look at how nice that applied. I don't remember how this one swatched, but the pigment is really good going on the lid. All right, so I think right there is as far as I want to put this shade. And then I'm going to use this same brush and go in with Delilah. That was the bright neonish peachy shade. And just blend out the top of there. So I want that neon shade to peek through. Shade is just so pretty. Next, I'm going to go in with the neon yellow shade, which was Carnations. It is this shade right here. And I'm going to take this Shader Crease E47 brush from Sigma, and I want to pop it right in this crease transition area here. And I think patting this shade to get the most pigment is going to be the best. This shade and that orange shade would be so pretty with like a neutral look with a pop of color in the inner corner. All right, I've got that where I want it. I'm going to go in with Delilah, which was that bright orange shade. And I'm going to go from where this met here, blend where they cross over, and bring Delilah a little bit on top of the yellow shade, not all the way in, just maybe to like where the brow hits. So it's just peeking through a little bit of that yellow shade, but not all the way in. Next, what I'm going to do is take Tulip. So Tulip is going to be the main lid shade for me, but then I'm going to use Daffodil to blend Tulip into the outer Sunflower shade. And then I think I'm going to use Yarrow as an inner corner highlight. So I'm going to try to use as many of these as I can. Definitely going to be spraying these shades. So this is Tulip. And I'm just kind of bringing it like right where the lid is. I'm going to go in with my E33 and Daffodil. So I have very quickly hit hard pan on Daffodil. I'm just going to go in with a bit stiffer of a brush and kind of pick some of that up. Oh, I don't know if I like that. I'm going to go back in with Sunflower and blend over that. And then I'm going to put that Daffodil shade on the lower lash line. So I'm just going to kind of stamp this on with a rounder brush. I actually think I'm going to leave it with just Delilah. So I'm going on with a Luxie mini flat angled one. You could use a mini round one. You could use a pencil brush. This one just helps me get it kind of blown out, but in a focused place because of the size of the brush. I think the only thing I want to do with the shadows is take a little bit of Delilah, which is the neon shade, and just kind of pop that right between where these meet. Before I go in with that shimmer shade on the inner corner, I'm going to do some black tightline, black wing liner, and mascara, and put Puppy on the lower lash line and be back to show you the final look. So we're back with the final look. All I need to do is pop that shade Yarrow, which is right here, into the inner corner. It was one of those days. I've been using this Glam Light calligraphy pen for my liner, and I've been really enjoying it. And it was like today it started leaking or something, so then it was bleeding more, and then I had to, you know, when you have to keep fixing your eyeliner, and then it's like, ends up being not what you wanted it to be. So here is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed the swatches and the look, and be looking for another video to come out on the other three and a more comprehensive review on these palettes. Please do remember that this is just the first impression, so my impression could change the more that I use them, and see how the pigment is and see how they apply to the eyes. Let me know if you have a specific look that you want to see. Otherwise, I'll probably use those other three palettes together. Since I used most of this palette already, I am loving this eye look, and I love this palette specifically altogether. I think the shadows performed well on the eyes. I don't think you're going to get something deep with this shadow, but obviously you could use a brown or black or a darker orange that you have in your collection to deepen up that outer V if you want to. I am very happy with how the look is today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to enter the giveaway and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!